Greetings, welcome to the Gifted Soul Tarot. I'm going to be doing a career reading for Leo for the period 12th to the 19th of April. Before I start, I'm just going to clear the air and light a bit of sage. Light this incense. Right now, let's draw some cards now for Leo for career. Thanks for joining me. That's great, thank you. Please view my website. Constructed my website. It's ready to view. Please also like, comment and subscribe to this channel. And be sure to press the alarm so you know when I post videos. Let's see what's on the cards for Leo for career. Oh, thank you. See? One more card. Speak about the environment and the people. Overall energy is the death card. The card of Scorpio. And this speaks of transformation and change. Right, so let's see what we have. For the Leo person, we've got the 10 of staffs. Okay, there you can see the phoenix, rising again. He's in the fire and he rises again. You can see the ashes coming up. So this is a good card. This speaks of good spiritual understanding. Especially during this time, during the career time. Even though you're faced with adversity, because you're going through this pandemic, and things are not what they ought to be, things are working out fine. You're doing your lot, which is great. Now then, on the factors against the career, we've drawn the 4 of Pentacles. Sorry, the 5 of Pentacles. Take a look at that. Okay, this is the opposing forces, opposing factors. It speaks of, wealth being one thing, okay, but if you don't have wealth and you're not generous enough, or you stiff and starchy regarding your money, and you like this beggar, you like this person that there's alms on the floor here, but they walk straight past it. They don't see what they should be seeing, because they've got this, their mind is so fixated on money and wealth that they don't see anything about them. So pay attention to that. Past influences, the seven of staffs, which tells us that it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Everyone's only in it for themselves, irrespective of what they tell you and what they show you. People wear masks. People present themselves with different faces. And in times like these, when we're going through this pandemic, things are, far more tougher than they ought to be. And it's every man for himself. That's the past influences. Just pay attention to that, because, as I say, people do some strange things when they, go through tough times. This is a card of the future. That's the King of Swords. It tells us that we're stable. We're taking control of this matter. There you can see the eagle. He's steadfast. And he's plodding through, irrespective of what's going on about him. He's carrying on with it. Course of action, we've got the Knight of Coins. The Knight of Coins speaks of, that's that, that perpetual banker, that counselor, that person that's, very money apt and very, he's got all these faculties in the right place. That's that sort of person, very stable and very controlled and very sensible, and he's got a certain amount, a sense of worry and concern, which one needs to have, especially in the business environment. And then on your Leo people and the environment around you, you've got the Eight of Vessels, which shows him working hard at whatever he's doing and the project he's working on. He's making sure he's got the right pot, the right tool for the right pot. So he's been very studious and, getting things together and pressing on, even though, times are tough. He's getting on with it and he's doing the best he can. And then on the outcome, we've got the Queen of Coins, which is a great card. It speaks of, health, wealth and prosperity. It speaks of, having your mind, your body and your spirit in total union, and, you've taken stock of everything and you're not perplexed during this time. And that's the outcome. It's a very good outcome to have, especially during these times. Okay, I'm going to pull some clarifying cards from the Psychic Tarot deck. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get for Leo person. Oops. Got too many there. What do we have for Leo person from the Psychic Tarot deck? Mental conflict. The factors against our career. One card for the factors against our career. For all the Leo souls. Factors against the career. Can we marry up with the Five of Pentacles? Okay, I'll take that one. Try that again. Looking for clarifying for past influences. What do we have for clarify for the past influences? What with past influences? one card we're looking for. Thank you. Take that one. Now, we need to confirm the future. What card do we have for the King of Swords? King of Swords. Looking for a clarifier for the course of action. Something to marry up with the Knight of Coins. What course of action needs to be taken for the year? That's great. Now then, we're looking for Leo's environment and their people. And a clarifier for the outcome. Oops, thank you. Take that one, part of that. Let's go through it. So just going to sip of water. Damn. Sorry. Okay, so now for the person, for Leo. We drew the 10, which speaks of completion, the 10 of staffs, and that is married up with the mental conflict. There is a certain amount of mental conflict you're going through because of the times that we're living in, through this pandemic. It's made us all, most of us, in mental conflict. It's uncertain times. And then the factors against our career. We drew the 5 of Pentacles, which spoke of, pardon me, being mindful of the fact that, whether we have wealth or whether we're living comfortably, not to look past being generous, don't look past other people that don't have. And that was paired off with material and spiritual prosperity. So I think if you just pay attention to that, there's material prosperity in that, in the fact that you look upon others, but in a good light, not in a bad light. Don't be puffed up. Put your ego aside. Times are tough. Factors against your career. You drew the 7 of staffs, which told us that it's a dog-eat-dog world and every man's for himself. And we clarified that with conflict and defeat. There's going to be a certain amount of conflict and defeat because, people are in it for themselves, and they're all going to do what is going to, benefit them, not what benefits you. Whether that be in someone that has their own business, they're going to look out for themselves, whether that be a partnership. You've got to understand these times are tough and people are looking to see what they can get out for themselves. Not necessarily, they don't necessarily look at the people around us, as well as on the work front as well. There's people that work for an employer. People are out there for themselves. Just be mindful of that. Keep your eye on the goal and go forward. On the future, we drew the King of Swords, which told us that you're very stable and you're looking at things holistically. You're looking at them carefully, and you understand that the times are tough. And by doing that, you will gain victory and success. whether it's your own business you have, or whether it's working for a boss, or whether it's working for yourself. Just remain level-headed and firm. The course of action that needs to be taken was the Knight of Coins, which told us that this energy is it's very secure. We spoke about people that have got a high office. There's people that are in a responsible job, a responsible business. There's businessmen that have their own, a company. Those entrepreneurs, that work for themselves. There's a certain amount of stability, and that's really noble, especially during these times. And love begins, and you'll have a renewed love for what you do, because you're going to put a lot into it, and what you put in, you get out. So it's really great news. And the environment in your people, we drew the 8 of vessels, which told us that we are working effectively and making the best of a bad situation by using the right tool for the right pot, the right tool for the right job. Looking at how to keep your customers, how to keep them happy, how to make things work during these tough economic times. So you're looking at other possibilities, and you're very instrumental in doing that. And what does that give you? Accelerated motion forward, which is great. It tells you that you're on the right track. You're doing everything you ought to be doing by taking that sort of view. You're not giving in to defeat. And the outcome, we chose the Queen of, we pulled the Queen of Coins, which told us that we've got our faculties in order, and that our mind, body, and spirit are working together, and that brings hope. It brings hope for the outcome. So there's definitely hope for the future, especially by our mindset and adopting that mindset. So I think the reading looks very good. I'm going to draw some cards from the Mona Lisa Tarot, just as a double clarity. I had an idea to pair it off with this, which was the factors against the career. Oh, that's great, thank you. Right now, the Leo person, I've got to clarify for that. It's a 2 of chalices. We're looking for a clarify for past influences. What do we have for past influences that Leo needs to know? Looking for one card for the future. A card for the future. The future outcome. What clarify do we have for the future outcome? I just want to check to see if it's projecting right. The course of action we're going to take. What is the course of action that he is going to take? See? Course of action. What's the course of action? Do you hear? Thank you. We'll clarify for the course of action. clarify Leo and the people. The environment and the people. What sort of environment is there? Korea, thank you. And the outcome. What will the outcome be? What will the outcome be? Right now, so for the Leo person, we've determined we are stable, we are dealing with the slot, dealing with the work situation as we ought to. You know, we've got the backing of the universe. It is mental conflict, how can it not be? And we've gathered that our work environment, the people we choose to be around, need to be proper. We need to choose proper people that are going to support us. You know, whatever we do, whether it's in our business or whether it's in our job, whether we work for an employee, we need people to support us. People need to be on the same page as us. They need to offer their support. That's important. The factors against our career. We drew the Five of Pentacles, which told us that, you know, to be wealthy is one thing, but to scoff at other people and not be supportive of those that don't have is quite another. And we married that up with material and spiritual prosperity. So if you can get that right, the material and spiritual prosperity will come. And we've got a double clarity here. We've drawn the Hangman from the Mona Lisa deck, which tells us that always know who's pulling the strings. And that's important. Pay attention. Always know who's pulling the strings. So I think you can get a good handle on that. Our past influences. We ascertained that it's a dog world out there with the Seven of Staffs paired up with conflict and defeat. And we drew the Knight of Pentacles, which tells us that before we decide to do anything, especially with regards to career, we need to check the small print and make sure that we've defined the terms and the conditions, because that can come back to bite you. So define the terms and conditions before you do anything else. And then on the future, we drew the King of Swords, which was stability. You know, going ahead, strong and sturdy. And we said that that would be victorious and successful. And there's going to be a reunion of sorts. Okay, this is to do with work, obviously, career. There's going to be a reunion. Whether that's going to be those that have a business and, you know, after this fiasco, you know, you're going to come together and support each other, and you're going to have a long relationship with these customers. If you're in your own business, or if you're in a work situation, you report to a boss, there's going to be that togetherness, that cohesion, you know, for your career going forward, which will only benefit you. The course of action that needs to be taken, we pull the Knight of Coins, which tells us that this is a person of good office. You know, they hold a good office. Sorry. You know, they're stable, they're reliable, they're trustworthy. And we said that there'd be a new founded love for the job or for the business. And we've drawn the Death card, which tells us that many lives within one life, many lives transform. So I think we just got to go with the flow. We've got to keep our prize on the goal and press forward and be that stable person, be that banker, be that counselor. And on our people, our Leo people, we drew the 8 of vessels, which told us that we're working hard, we're using the right tool for the right pot. By doing that, we'd have accelerated motion. So we've been, what do you call it, productive. And then we've drawn the Fool card, which tells us to pay attention to, generosity. It's pretty much like the card I drew. I can find the chat. That card I drew. The 5 of Pentacles. Recognize the generosity part of it, because it will benefit you in the long run. So it looks as if it's all coming together. There's accelerated motion by just taking things in our stride and going forward and being helpful and, being there for your customers, being there for your employees. And on the outcome, we drew the Queen of Coins, which told us that we got health, wealth, and prosperity. We're in touch with our mind, our body, our spirit, and we've got a healthy mind, which helps, especially in business. And there's a card of hope, which is wonderful for business. It tells us that we're doing things in the right form. And we've paired it off with the High Priestess and the Mona Lisa deck, which tells us that whatever we serve defines us. So what would it be? Would it be your customers first? Would it be you first? Would it be your employees first? Decide. You can make or break it. So, there's a word of caution here. Well, I hope you found that resonated somehow, with your lot. It is a general reading. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and press the buzzer for when I put out my next reading. Thanks for being here, and I'll pick you up in the next video.